Hey, this is Brooke, functional medicine dietitian specializing in fertility, and this is the Fertility Dietitian podcast, where I help you uncover the barriers that are preventing you from optimizing your fertility and teach you how to work with your body to finally take home a healthy baby. Each week, I will be diving into different topics on fertility and sharing my perspective on physiology, metabolic health, nutrition, and lifestyle approaches that have helped hundreds of couples get pregnant even after years of heartache. My goal is to empower you with the knowledge you need to take back control of your fertility. Happy listening. Today, we are talking all about how to improve how your body is adapting to stress to decrease your time to that healthy baby. Stress is always a big topic of conversation with the couples that I work with. You might be wondering if stress can really keep you from getting pregnant, and the short answer is actually yes, because we need our body to feel safe so it can spend as much energy as it needs to on fertility. Now, I'm not saying that you can just relax and get pregnant. Stress management and repletion from stress is much more complex than having a spa day. What I am saying is that stress, no matter where it is coming from, results in a biological cascade of events that leads to depletion and a body that doesn't have enough resources to support the very energy intensive process of fertility and support you in a stressed state. So we have to remember that not all stress is bad. It's actually healthy to be able to get into a stress state and come out of a stress state. What is not good is the repeated and prolonged stressors. So this type of stress can actually result in a body that doesn't have the capacity to do things like build happy hormones or fight oxidative damage, which is really important for how we're able to protect good quality egg and sperm. It often doesn't have the ability to ovulate regularly. It doesn't have the ability to both build and protect healthy swimmers. So stress is definitely very important for male fertility as well. We have a body that is not able to send enough nutrients to support reproduction when there is a lot of prolonged stress. And it decreases the ability to manage healthy inflammatory levels because, again, a lot of resources are going to the stress process in the body, which creates more inflammation in and of itself. And then we have a lot of challenges creating energy sufficiently for you, let alone the abundance of energy that is necessary for fertility. Okay, so we know that stress is a really big factor. So let's go ahead and talk about helping your body adapt to stress. I want to learn 3 things about stress to improve how your body is supporting fertility. So first, I want to learn where the stress is coming from. Second, I want to learn whether there are stressors that we can eliminate. And third, I want to learn how we can support your body in adapting to this stress. Okay. So this can be fairly individualized, but we have to be realistic here for everybody because we can't eliminate all stress, but we can certainly eliminate certain stressors while supporting how our body is adapting to other stressors. No matter where the stress is coming from, it is depleting nutrients and leading to compensation somewhere else. So typically impacting fertility in one way or another, whether it's draining progesterone, decreasing egg quality, increasing inflammation, or even leading to things like poor sleep, poor gut health, which again, impact fertility in a wide variety of ways. It's not realistic to eliminate all stress, but we can work to decrease it and support how your body's adapting to it. I am going to keep saying that because I think it's a really important distinction. The goal is not to eliminate the stress. It's hopefully to limit it and support how we are adapting to it. So, what does it actually mean to improve how we're adapting to stress? It means that your body can handle it without overcompensating. So, our nutrient status is huge for how we're able to adapt to stress because the stress response rapidly uses up nutrients, especially minerals. If these minerals aren't being replaced, we become more and more depleted, which is another stressor in itself. Okay. So, and in case you've missed it, we can't forget about minerals as a whole because they are really essential for how our cells create energy. And because fertility is such an energy intensive process, minerals are a really big foundational resource that we need plenty of consistently. So, finding where your stressors are coming from is the first step to learning how to better adapt to the stressors. So, we have to think about both external stressors and internal stressors. So, when I say external stressors, I'm thinking things like relationships, commuting, work tasks, health concerns, subfertility. So, things that are stressful because we're dealing with them in our everyday lives. So, internal stressors are more things like toxic burdens. So, if we have a lot of toxins coming in, if we are under eating, that is an internal stressor. If we are getting poor sleep, another internal stressor. Poor sleep. Remember, sleep is so important because it is our rest and repair period to repair our cells, support hormone production and communication, and so on and so forth. Also plays a really big role in how we're detoxing and supporting that toxic load. Nutrient deficiencies is another internal stressor. Poor gut health. Some big internal stressors can come from poor gut health. Mineral imbalance, again, being depleted or imbalance in minerals is going to be another stressor in and of itself. Also very important for how we're going to be adapting to stress. And over exercising is also going to be, can also be an external stressor, can lead to injury and so on and so forth, but internal stressor as well. So, common stressors that we can eliminate are under eating. We can definitely improve how much nutrients and energy is coming in. Over exercising, we can certainly change that. A lack of sunshine is a stressor. We can certainly work on changing that. And if you live in an environment where there's not a lot of actual sunshine happening, the daylight or skylight is still beneficial. Okay. And there are also tips and tricks we can work on indoors to improve what's happening with light exposure. And gut infections, we can get rid of gut infections. We can really change and improve gut health as a whole. And so the under eating piece is also going to influence the nutrient deficiencies, which also typically influences sleep. So we can really work on eliminating a lot of these stressors. And toxic burden is another one. We obviously are not going to completely eliminate, but we can really decrease the stress of toxic burden and toxic load. Okay, so in order to improve how your body's adapting to stress, we need to improve your mineral status. And the most ideal way to do this is to learn where you're starting with mineral status. So an HTMA test is really helpful here. HTMA stands for Hair Tissue Mineral Analysis Test. Takes a sample of hair. We learn all about the minerals in your body and what we need to do to improve mineral status. Popping supplements is not the answer for rebalancing or repleting minerals, although using supplements strategically can help. We really need to focus on our whole foods. We really need to focus on our nervous system regulation in order to truly rebalance and replete minerals. Okay, so if you have a lot of questions around this, or if that's something that you really want to dive into, I have a whole podcast episode on minerals itself, talks more about that test. And of course, don't hesitate to reach out to me and we can chat about getting that going for you. So improving mineral status is a big, big deal for improving how your body's adapting to stress. Supporting your nervous system as a whole is really helpful. So one way that we can do this is by stimulating our vagus nerve. Our vagus nerve is the biggest nerve that supports our rested nervous system state in our body. We can stimulate that by doing things like humming, singing, grounding, which is bare feet on the ground or really on the earth. So grass or dirt or sand are a few ways to support that vagus nerve. Castor oil packs can be really helpful too, because we are helping our body with detox, decreasing that toxic load and toxic burden, along with product swaps. Of course, we want to be thinking about that to decrease that toxic load as well. And I do have a whole podcast on supporting our detox pathways and decreasing toxic load. So go check that one out for much more info there. Improving sleep quantity and quality. So for women, we're aiming for 9 to 10 hours of sleep a night. For men, easier with 7 to 9 is the range for them, but good quality is important too. So starting with eating enough, eating consistently, working on mineral status is all going to help support your sleep quality as well. Decreasing mental emotional stressors. So if you have a really stressful job or if you have stressful relationships in your life, think about creating boundaries. Think about, really evaluating whether your work-life balance is working for you at this stage in your life with your goals of having a family. Those can be some really big, hard decisions to make, but it's really a big deal for being able to truly replete and rebalance minerals and support your overall feeling of safety in the body and your body's ability to support fertility. Shifting your eating pattern might be necessary to help you eat enough and eat consistently, balance blood sugar, which can also be an internal stressor. Decreasing inflammatory fats can also help with how your body's adapting to stress. So we want to really make sure that we're focusing in on our anti-inflammatory fats, which can be like our fatty fish and our avocado and our olive oils, for instance. Also grass-fed butter. Animal fats are going to be supportive too. So a lot of the processed seed and vegetable oils are going to be much more inflammatory. So decreasing those as much as possible is helpful. And then again, I've mentioned this a couple times, but decreasing toxic burden too, which also helps with many of these other areas. So those are the main ways or tips to start improving how your body is adapting to stress. And you don't have to figure this all out on your own. It's just a good starting point. And if you're ready to dig deeper and start working with your body to support fertility, don't hesitate to reach out. I would love to support you. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Fertility Dietitian podcast. If you enjoyed it, please leave a review to let me know what topics you want more of or less of. If you want to keep learning, subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out my website for more info on my private coaching program, Master Your Fertility, or my membership community, Fertility Blueprint. And don't forget my digital store. Come say hi on YouTube and Instagram. See you in the next episode.